Hi, everyone. It's Maggie from Netsupport, your friendly teacher turned techie, here to give you some top tips for navigating ISTE this year, whether it's your first time or you are a veteran. First, let's focus on some general tips and tricks for navigating the biggest part of ISTE, the exhibit hall. The Memorial Convention Center in New Orleans has an incredibly large expo space, and as the first in-person ISTE in several years, you can expect hundreds of ed tech companies, startups, and providers to be present and scattered all around the hall. This year, you only have 3 days to explore the hall, and I will warn you up front, you cannot hit every stand. So going in with a plan is an absolute must. So here are my pro tips for making the most of your time. Number one, this is going to sound silly, collapsible carts and backpacks. You can always tell who has been to ISTE before and is a veteran and who hasn't by the gear they have for the expo hall. If there's one thing we teachers love, it is free swag. And basically every company will be throwing things at you, from pens to shirts to charging blocks. It can add up quickly and become an awful lot. And you need a convenient way to carry all of that. Plus, those educational materials you're taking back for your administrators and other people in your district. So consider bringing an empty backpack or picking up a collapsible cart. Just search it on Amazon, that will easily fit into your luggage so you can scoop up that swag and bring some goodies back for your fellow educators and your students. This brings me to point number 2. Save space in your bag. Just like when you travel and you intend to bring home some souvenirs, you will likely find your suitcase several pounds heavier post-ISTE. Be sure to factor that in when packing your bags, or consider bringing an empty bag that you can use as a carry-on to conveniently store not only your goodies, but all the learning materials you will gather with you throughout ISTE. Number 3, pick your top 10 to 15 must-visit vendors, companies, booths, and map them out so you know where to go. When you visit the Louvre, you know you're making that beeline towards the Mona Lisa so you don't miss it, but you need to know where it is and how to get there, right? So Sunday night, flip through that ISTE book you'll get when you check in. Usually it's a massive guide that's got a big map of the expo hall and a key list of all the vendors, and identify the people you absolutely need to visit. Now, if you're not sure who to see, the guide in the back will usually give you some recommendations based on specific categories that people are in. So you can definitely take a look at that. The ISTE app and the website also list vendors by category and by name. So if you know you're looking for a particular type of resource, but you don't quite know who offers that, try searching for those, and be aware that many vendors will be listed under multiple categories, and some might not be labeled exactly what you think they are because those terms are never 100% perfect for everybody. So figure out who you want to visit, where their stands are located relative to key landmarks, like things like the Microsoft booth or showcase areas, and then try to visit them in clusters. So if you know that 4 or 5 of them are all in the same key area, plan to go visit them at one point in time and plan to visit others later. Remember, this thing is huge, and you could easily get 10,000 steps walking around the expo hall itself. So make sure you got your Apple Watch, your Fitbit on. This leads me to number 4, balancing your time. Remember, ISTE is about learning. And of course, you want to attend sessions, gain information and knowledge that you can take back with you. But you also want to spend some time speaking with companies that provide solutions or resources that are going to help benefit you and your students in the long run. Now, a real positive outcome of COVID is that events such as ISTE are being much more intentional about making content accessible virtually as well as in person. ISTE has labeled their sessions on the website to let you know which ones will be recorded for later viewing and which ones are live-only events. So first, check out the live-only events and plan which ones you absolutely do not want to miss. Also prepare yourself because they will fill up fast, especially if there's limited seating or if there's the types of events or sessions where they're more interactive and so they're less likely to have large seating space. After that, check the schedule and see what other sessions or activities are going on that kind of meet your niche areas. You can look things up by subject. You can look things up by the specific topic area, things like AI or classroom management, and find things that are going to help benefit you based on those topic areas. Now, I do recommend blocking off about 1 to 2 hour chunks for the exhibit hall to allow time for walking and talking and actually interacting with vendors. So space your day out. And again, remember, a lot of these sessions are going to be recorded. So you can always look at it and go, I can watch that one later. Let me plan that on my schedule. And then this is going to be my time to go in, walk around, and actually interact with vendors, grab information, try and find what I'm looking for. Now seems like a pretty good time to talk about these sessions we're talking about and what I would recommend as must-see sessions and activities coming up for ISTE. Now, there's lots of different types of sessions and events. You're going to have your keynote speakers. You're going to have more of your hands-on learning activities. So depending on how you learn best is going to dictate what's going to you're going to gravitate more to. So instead, I've got a couple of key people and sessions that you might want to check out based on what your interests are. First up is our buddy Adam File from Newton County. He'll be speaking on creating inclusive leadership cultures and also on ensuring digital programs support educational equity. This is really great for people who are administrators or who possibly want to be in an administrative track to learn more about these pivotal and key aspects of administration. Monica Burns from Class Tech Tips gives amazing, great, and actionable advice on easy changes you can make to your instruction to improve outcomes. So you can check out her 12 ways to pivot instruction after you collect formative assessment data or one of her other sessions throughout the week. If you happen to have an interest in AR or VR, as many of our teachers do, Rochelle Dene Poth is leading several sessions about virtual reality experiences and creating modern learning environments. This is great for anybody, whether you're English, science, math, languages. It's a great way to incorporate a technical aspect into the learning that you're doing in your classroom. I'm a huge fan of escape rooms. Love them, cannot get enough. And of course, how you can incorporate the escape room feel and activity idea into your classroom to promote fun learning activities while helping students develop key skills. So I'm really looking forward to checking out Doug Caldwell and Catherine Nettles' session on what can your students learn during a classroom escape room. You'll actually also find several sessions on designing your own escape room or other virtual resources you can use to create those types of environments. ISTE is 100% all about learning, so please prioritize your efforts based on what's going to help you grow as an educator or an administrator, and also what's going to positively impact your education community. One of the best things you can go in with are questions that you want answered. Okay, whether that's questions from vendors or companies, whether it's going to be questions from these sessions, things that you're trying to solve in your own classroom or your own school, have an idea of what it is you want to achieve, what you want to learn, and then direct your efforts towards that. I have 4 top questions you should be asking when you're in the expo hall talking to vendors, no matter what they do, what type of solution they provide. Number 1, how is your product or your method, your process, whatever it is that they're offering, developed in conjunction with educators or schools? It is crucial these days that we're not just picking up tools that someone created without any sort of interaction with teachers and with educators and administrators. They need to know the problems that we face on a day-to-day basis and have a solution that's going to work for us. So always ask them, how have you incorporated that pivotal piece of coordinating with those people in your development process? Or how are you planning on doing that? How do you continue to do that? Second, what evidence do you have of the efficacy of this solution or process? It is not enough for someone simply to say 500 districts across the states use us, or, oh, we have this many million of students who are using our product. That's all well and good, but they should be able to prove efficacy of the outcomes of what they're doing. So always be sure to ask for evidence, case studies, proof, anything that they've done that actually shows that what you're going to implement is going to actually work for you. Speaking of implementation, third question to ask, how will implementing this improve student outcomes and learning? Or how will it benefit educators? If you're going to put a product or a solution in place, it's got to have good positive outcomes on student learning. So make sure that they can clearly state that as a result of having it, these type of things are going to be able to happen. Or that as a result of having it, it's going to save teachers time in this way, or it's going to be more effective at communicating or making X, Y, and Z happen. Lastly, What resources do you provide for users to increase adoption and get on board with this? Professional development is so important. And as we all know, we cannot cram 500 professional developments into one tiny summer. So make sure any vendors you're working with are offering free resources for you and your teachers to be able to access so that you can better adopt the solution and obviously have better positive outcomes as a result of doing so. Now, this year, Netsupport, who I represent, will be at booth 1442. It's right behind the Promethean booth. There's your key landmark, sharing our solutions for classroom management and student engagement, one-to-many remote control, school IT management, and emergency lockdown tools. We are big believers in ed tech for everyone. That means that everyone should have access to resources and tools that are going to help them to do their jobs more effectively and ultimately better influence student outcomes and learning. We cannot wait to show off the latest updates to our suite of tools that benefit teachers, administrators, and techies. Some of our key solutions that we'll be showing off at ISTE are Classroom Cloud, our cloud-based classroom management and student engagement platform that includes e-safety tools for helping engage students, whether they're at home or they're in the classroom. Our tried and true, absolutely lovely Netsupport School, our on-premise only solution for classroom management that actually has really great efficacy built into it based off of years of working with teachers and learning strategies and different ways to approach classroom management that are going to be beneficial for our students and for our teachers. We also have a suite of tools for administrators, including tools that allow us to alert staff of any emergencies or if there's a lockdown in case of things like active shooters or other potential threats that could come through. That's Netsupport Notify. DNA is our IT asset management solution that allows you to maximize ROI by better tracking what you have, where it's being used, and whether or not you can reallocate different tools, software, or hardware to make the most of the fleet that you do have so you're not overspending money or buying needless things. And of course, Netsupport Manager, our classic remote control tool, allows you to support students and teachers no matter where they are, on campus or remotely, Chromebooks, Windows, Macs, you name it, we can help to support it. So we're really looking forward to talking with you about how you can implement EdTech for everyone in your district or at your school, ways that you can be more efficient with your time and your resources, and of course, you can get those positive student learning outcomes that you're looking for. So check us out at booth 1442 when you're at ISTE, and of course, say hello to our lovely team. And make sure that you're getting the most out of your time when you're traveling around the expo hall, visiting other vendors, and really learning everything that you need to learn about EdTech. Thanks so much and have a great, happy ISTE.